Command, we need help right now! We're completely surrounded! Bullets coming from everywhere!
The second a U.S. Marine heard those words crackling over the radio, he didn't hesitate. He ran straight to his commanders and asked to go in, but they said no. Way too dangerous. Absolutely not. But what this Marine did next? Man, it literally changed history. We're talking about Corporal Dakota Meyer, September 8, 2009, Kunar Province, Afghanistan, a tiny little village called Ganjgal. This place was completely boxed in, steep mountains on every side. A joint team of American and Afghan soldiers was on what was supposed to be a routine patrol, walking right into that valley. Nobody had any clue they were walking straight into a trap. The second they got close to the village, boom. Over 100 heavily armed Taliban fighters hit them from 3 sides at once. The guys on the ground, completely out in the open. The gunfire was so intense, so accurate, if you lifted your head even an inch, you were dead. Four American soldiers and several Afghan troops up front were completely pinned down. They were pressed flat against the dirt, screaming for help over the radio. Back at a safe position, Corporal Dakota Meyer was listening to all of it. He could hear the fear in his brother's voices. He begged his commanders, "Let me go in, I can pull them out." But orders from the top were crystal clear. Nobody goes into that valley. His commanders weren't wrong. Going in there was basically a death sentence, and they couldn't afford to lose more guys. Dakota was told to stay put, but staying put, that just wasn't something Dakota Meyer could do. He looked over at Staff Sergeant Juan Rodriguez Chavez. No big speech, no long conversation, just a look, and both of them made the same call at the exact same time. Rodriguez jumped behind the wheel of a heavy armored vehicle. Dakota grabbed the machine gun mounted on top, and they drove, full speed, straight into that valley. The second they rolled into open ground, the enemy unloaded everything they had. Rockets, machine guns, you name it. Bullets were slamming into the armor so hard the whole truck was shaking. Rodriguez was pushing that vehicle hard through rocks and craters, while Dakota stood wide open on top, completely exposed, just unleashing that gun on the enemy. He was the biggest target out there, and he didn't care. Dakota lit up the enemy hard enough to push them back just long enough to spot wounded Afghan soldiers on the ground. Rodriguez hit the brakes. Dakota jumped down, in the middle of all that gunfire, dragged the wounded guys to the truck and loaded them up. This wasn't a movie. One wrong move and it was over. Once the truck was full, they hauled back to safety. And here's the thing, anyone else would have stayed back, but not these two. Dakota and Rodriguez turned right back around and went in again. Second trip, same chaos, same gunfire. More wounded soldiers pulled out. Every single run, it got worse. Dakota had been firing that machine gun so long, the barrel was burning hot. His hands were torn up bad. At one point, the gun jammed completely. Shrapnel hit him, cut him up in multiple places. But he kept going because his 4 American brothers, the ones up front, were still out there somewhere. Once the gun was back up, they went in again. Still couldn't find them. Dakota's body was falling apart, couldn't breathe right. Enemy was closing in. The truck couldn't push any further. So Dakota did something that honestly sounds unreal. He got out on foot. He walked into that mess himself, calling out for his guys through the smoke. Then he spotted a ditch. When he got there, his heart dropped. All 4 of his brothers were gone, killed in action. Their bodies told the whole story. They fought like warriors until the very last second. The hope that kept him running back in there 5 times. It was gone. But Dakota didn't quit. With bullets still flying all around him, he, with help from his partner, physically carried all 4 bodies out of that ditch and brought them home. That day, Corporal Dakota Meyer defied direct orders, risked his life over and over again, and saved 36 people. 6 hours of combat. One man who simply refused to leave his brothers behind. When he got back to base, there was no celebration on his face, no pride, just a soldier who did what he felt he had to do. On September 15, 2011, President Barack Obama placed America's highest military honor, the Medal of Honor, around Dakota Meyer's neck. Dakota Meyer deserves every bit of respect we can give him. If this story hit you the way it hit me, share it. Let people know what real courage actually looks like. Drop a salute in the comments for these warriors. And follow Ruby 3D for more real, true war stories just like this one.